What's up, Dunwoody? Welcome back to the podcast. It's all about Dunwoody, Georgia. My name is Matt Weber. Show is brought to you by Dr. Brett Friedman with Village Orthodontics and my good friend Mark Galvin at Discover Dunwoody. I don't know why I was going into my good friend thing. I wanted to say Billy Kramer is here, a good friend of mine.
I like Mark and Brett.
Yes, good guys, friends of yours.
Yes.
But yeah, let's talk NFA Burger. Let's talk Giving Kitchen. Let's talk burger benefits. This is the final burger benefit.
Yeah.
To benefit the Giving Kitchen. So tell us all about it.
So 4 years ago, I reached out to a chef who I'd heard on a podcast. His name is John Ben Hayes. I'm always messing up his last name. Ben Haas Ben Hayes. Sorry,
he's
John.
not gonna watch. It's fine.
I'm gonna make him watch. So I heard him on a podcast called The Sporkful, which is one of my favorite food podcasts. And I found out he was in Savannah. So I reached out to him and I said, hey, I'd love to do a pop-up with you. You know, I love them. He taught Ray Fiennes how to make the burger in the movie The Menu.
Okay.
So if you've seen the movie The Menu, at the end, there's a cheeseburger, and that's John's creation.
Okay.
So I thought that's really cool. I really love the movie. So I reached out to John. I said, can we do a pop-up? He's like, yes. I said, we'll give all the money to the Giving Kitchen. He's like, great. And then I called George Motz, who burger scholar, author, owns Hamburger America in New York, on TV all the time, does shows. I said, if I did this burger pop-up, would you come down and do it? We're going to give all the money to the Giving Kitchen. What's the Giving Kitchen? I explained it to George. He's like, oh, awesome. Let's do it. And then my brain just went sideways. And I was like, what if I just got more chefs to come out? And so that first year we wound up having around 20 chefs come from around the country to Dunwoody, to NFA and Dunwoody, and cook burgers for a day. And all the money went to the Giving Kitchen. We raised $53,000 that first year. Jeez. I actually got to write on a big check. It was pretty cool.
That's cool.
The next year we did it. We did $65,000. The following year we were going to do it out of my new kitchen at Dunwoody, and construction went haywire, and I had to cancel last year's. So this year I decided, we're going to do it in May. We're going to switch back to May, and supply chain issues from our distributor just swallowed us in the last 2 months. Some minor medical issues with me, but nothing I couldn't overcome. And it just got to the point where I didn't have enough time to do this event the way I did it in years past. I also had
so big.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun and it's great, but I'm not really good at inviting others into my brain.
Yeah.
So it's basically just me doing the event because I'm going to do the event the way that I want to do it.
Yeah.
And I don't
nobody wants to be in that brain anyway.
No, nobody does. I wouldn't. No. So I don't want just an event. I want the event the way that makes me feel good about doing the event.
Yeah.
So I realized that I don't have that kind of time anymore. So I decided this year is going to be the last year. And instead of not putting money into the Giving Kitchen every year, what I did on my menu is I added a quarter to every burger on both Avalon and Dunwoody's menu. So every time you buy a burger, 1 quarter goes to the Giving Kitchen. Okay. So that's going to be the way that I can put money back into the Giving Kitchen, be able to grow my business. I now have like 60 employees.
Yeah.
When I first started, I had like 7. The first burger benefit, I had like 7 employees.
Yeah.
So I just don't have as much time as I wish that I did to continue to do the event. I shrunk the roster this year. We're not doing 20 chefs. We're going to have 9 groups. I'm bringing in George Motz.
Your favorite guys?
Well, all the same guys. No, there's nobody new. There's nobody who hasn't done it in the past.
But just your favorites.
But I wouldn't say my favorites. I mean, I like everybody. But people, I wanted to bring burgers to people that they couldn't get, right? If you want to get Vinnie Cimino's burger from Cordelia in Cleveland, Ohio, you have to fly there and get a hotel and a rental car.
Which you do, but most people wouldn't do that.
I've done that for Vinny because his food's amazing. He's a 3-time James Beard nominated chef. Hopefully he wins this year. But I can do that and bring you here, and for $45, you can eat that burger and the money goes to the Giving Kitchen.
Yeah. So that's the call to action to everybody in Dunwoody is if you want the best burgers in the United States, they're all coming to Dunwoody.
Right. And you don't have to get on a plane. You don't have to rent a car to go to Savannah and have Uncle June's Burger from Starland Yard, which is owned by John Ben Haas. He's gonna kill me. You can get Burger Buff's burger. I mean, the guy flies around worldwide. My buddy Nick flies around the world doing pop-ups, Singapore, London, you name it. Okay.
Dunwoody.
If they have great coffee and he can make a burger, he will do a pop-up there. Sells out everywhere. Mike Maida from United States of Burgers. These guys are going to kill me. I'm just
you're going to make me look up.
I'm flying right now. Anyway, Mike from USPS, who was one of our key grill people when we won the Burger Bash down in Miami.
Okay.
He's coming up. He's going to partner.
Congratulations, by the way. That
Thank
was
you very much.
Big deal, apparently. I didn't know what it was, but it was.
I got a 20-pound trophy that I can do hammer curls with.
Yeah, it was covered everywhere. So congratulations.
I was on CBS Morning News.
That's cool. All right, quick timeout. You thinking about selling your home this year? Probably not. Statistically, like 10% of you are. And if that's you, I would love to be a realtor right now. If that's not you, plug into my What's Up Dunwoody Facebook pages and groups. You can follow Top End ATL on TikTok and Instagram. Let me help keep you informed on what's going on around town. And then when you do need an agent, you know right where to find me. Or maybe you know somebody who would like to move to the area. You can send them some of What's Up Dunwoody stuff and say something like, this guy would be a fun agent to work with, because it's true. I'm actually super fun to work with. And I know this city and I love this city more than the next guy. So if you ever need a real estate question answered, a neighborhood opinion, or just help connecting the dots around Dunwoody, hit me up. And thanks for listening to the podcast. This episode and every episode of the show is brought to you by Discover Dunwoody, Dunwoody's destination marketing organization that is focused on promoting the city, supporting local businesses, and driving visitors here. And if you follow What's Up Dunwoody on social, you've already seen a lot of their stuff. I'm constantly sharing their amazing videos that they put out because, frankly, they're better than I can make. So why not share theirs? The events page on their website is another one of the best resources in the city, and way more people should be using it. It's constantly updated. So bookmark whatsupdunwoody.com/events and look at it once a week, because there's always something fun happening here. You just don't know where to find it.
Anyway, so I'm bringing all these guys. George Motz is coming down. His new book just launched Monday. He's going to do every session that he does comes with an autographed book. Nice. He's going to make a burger from the book that no one here's ever had unless you've been to Oklahoma. He's making the Theta burger from Johnny's Charcoal Broiler with Johnny's sauce. Rick is sending us 2 gallons of sauce from Oklahoma for this event. So you don't have to drive to Oklahoma to get this burger. George is going to make you one. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be the last one. It doesn't mean I won't have
a lot of work. So you have to order, you have to go through Cisco, US Foods, whoever your distributors are, and get those things for each individual burger, 9 different participants. So you have to bring those things in for each of them.
For the most part, but like Vinnie is bringing all of his stuff from Cleveland. Vinnie makes his own buns, and he's like, no, I got this. Now, Vinnie's like a professional. I mean, first off, he's an amazing chef, but he goes to events all over the country.
Yeah.
And he's used to bringing all of the bread he makes and bringing it down and his sauce and whatever he needs. So we'll do whatever they need us to do. We'll help him prep. We help him. My staff will, prep and do all that stuff. All that money comes out of NFA's pocket. Mm-hmm. Anything we have to spend or anything that's not sponsored. So that all the money goes to the Giving Kitchen. So this isn't one of those charity events where some of the proceeds go to the Giving Kitchen. 100% of the proceeds go to the Giving Kitchen.
Yeah.
Okay. So when we raised $53,000 the first year, I wrote a check to the Giving Kitchen. We did $60,000+. I wrote a check to the Giving Kitchen.
That's awesome.
And so the idea is to bring world-class people to Atlanta to bring burgers that you're not going to be able to get anywhere else. That doesn't mean we don't have Atlanta people. We've got Freddy Money. We've got from Atlas. We've got Kevin Rathbun. But you're going to get burgers you can't get on their menus at all, right? So a Michelin star chef is going to come and make a burger that you can't get at Atlas.
So cool.
Okay. So, are the ingredients worth $45? No, they're not. I can tell you right now, they're not. But is the experience worth $45? Yes. It's
Yeah. And
experience.
you're not going to get it otherwise.
No, you're not.
On a previous podcast, you told me a story about a girl that worked for you that was part of the Giving Kitchen, and kind of hit home for me.
Yeah.
Tell me about the Giving Kitchen and like what exactly it does.
So the Giving Kitchen's been around for, I think, 13 years now, 14 years. It was based on a gentleman who's a chef here in Atlanta, beloved chef named Ryan Heidinger. He was diagnosed with cancer, wound up passing away really within, a very short period of time. But before he passed away, a group of people in the restaurant industry got together and put together an event, which is now called Team Heidi. It happens every March. They just raised like $1.4 million through the event.
Jeez.
For the Giving Kitchen. And the idea behind the Giving Kitchen is to help food service workers in crisis. The restaurant industry is the economic leader in dollars spent in the country.
Yeah.
The people feeding you are living paycheck to paycheck. I would say paycheck to paycheck, but are living from a major catastrophe away from being homeless.
Yeah.
And
they've lived that life too. Like I work with a lot of people in the food industry, and that is, they truly do care about the food industry, and they're probably not going to leave.
Yeah. And so Ryan Turner from Us and Turners and Local 3 and so on, he knew Ryan Heidinger. He's one of the original founders of the Giving Kitchen. He and I talk all the time, and he said, that he said something that really struck home with me is about 6 months ago. People involved in the restaurant industry are people pleasers.
Yeah.
We're in hospitality. No one else thinks the way that these people do. I mean, teachers do, like my wife does. She's a teacher. There are very few industries that are people pleasing industries.
Yeah. Maybe hotels.
Right.
I think probably the closest.
Right. So, these are people who are gluttons for punishment. You can get yelled at by somebody because your French fries were cold, and you come back to work the next day. Right. That's not normal behavior of a human. You'd be like, most people think, I don't need to do this. Right. And these people come back because they like the 95% of the time where they see a smile on somebody's face, and that makes them happy and it keeps them going. Yeah. So Whitney Russell, the woman you referred to, she was a big part of the Giving Kitchen as just a volunteer. And when she came to work for me, she would ask for days off, and she'd say, look, I have Team Heidi. Can I go? I need off that day to go help volunteer. Or they have this event. I always said yes.
Yeah.
And she wound up passing away from during COVID, but from a really bizarre disease that's like 1 in a billion disease. And combine that with the idea that my father had been in the shoe industry his whole life and was a part of an organization that helped people in the shoe industry the same way. Right. So without people stocking shoes and selling shoes on the floor, Phil Knight doesn't have a private plane.
Right.
Okay. So guys like Phil Knight put money into the 210 Foundation. They want to help take care of people. They want to pay people, maybe not Phil Knight, but you get the idea.
Yeah.
So,
Al Bundy's.
Right. So so in the restaurant industry, so Whitney was a big part of that for the Giving Kitchen. When she passed away, I decided to kind of get more involved based on what my father had done in his career, based on Whitney. And so I just got heavily involved with the Giving Kitchen. We just completed our 3rd Team Heidi. We volunteer all day. I don't ask my employees to come out and work. They stay home. My buddies come out and we just hand out burgers all day and have a good time and help raise money for food service workers in crisis. And so what that means is, even Matt, your pizza place, if somebody breaks their foot and can't work, okay, it doesn't mean they don't have health insurance.
Yeah.
Okay, to take care of the medical bills. But the medical bills aren't, their mortgage isn't paid for, their rent isn't paid for, their car payments aren't paid for, their electric utilities and so forth. So what happens is when you have an emergency or a situation, you apply for funds to the Giving Kitchen. The Giving Kitchen puts you through a process. They do their best to help you. 2 years ago, our Giving Kitchen, our burger benefit event was a week before the hurricanes that ripped through North Carolina. The Asheville restaurant scene was devastated. It's
Put a lot of people out of work.
Right. It still has not even fully come back yet. The money we made that Sunday in September went into people's hands 2 weeks later who were in the restaurant industry, who all of a sudden found themselves not only without a job, but maybe without a place to live. They were flooded and their car was underwater. And so this event is the Giving Kitchen is very important to me because I want people to be in hospitality. I don't want people to think they're not loved and they're not appreciated and that we don't want them in this industry. And so they need to know that if something happens, somebody's got their back.
Yeah.
And it's not as simple as, well, why don't you just pay them more money? I like to think my employees are some of the highest paid fast casual employees in the world. But it doesn't mean that if their car gets totaled and they can't get to work, I can't, what can I do about that? I can't just go buy them a new car. I can't afford to do those things. I do the best I can. So, we give back to the industry. We do everything we can. Like I said, a quarter from every burger we sell now goes back to the Giving Kitchen. Right. So
well,
next year,
I love that you found your thing. I feel like during COVID, you were helping a lot of nonprofits at that point. I feel like you were trying to raise money for this and raise money for that and help the other restaurants around town. And I like that you just narrowed it down and you found these are the people I really want to help. These are the people that are in my life.
Well, my father, I've written about this online, written about this in my newsletter. My father had a stack of envelopes on his desk, and every Sunday night before he hit the road, he was gone Monday through Friday, pretty much my whole childhood, out making money to raise us, help my mom and I raise the family, or help my mom and him raise the family. He had a stack of envelopes, and I once, when I was about 14, I asked my dad, like, what are those envelopes? He said, well, they're all charities. And I said, well, what do you do with them? Like, I was thinking, why don't you just throw all those envelopes away? I mean, it was like a stack like this high on the desk. He's like, I pick 2 every Sunday and I write a check.
That's cool.
It's not a lot of money. It could be $25, whatever. But it could be American Cancer Society. It could be March of Dimes. Whatever it is, right? He would just pick the next 2 and write a check, put them in the envelope and send them out the door. And I said, why do you do that? He said, because there's always somebody who is worse off than you are. And you need to understand that. And so that's kind of the idea, when you mentioned during COVID, trying to find things, there were so many people who were hurting and so many people,
right.
And that hasn't stopped, by the way, unfortunately. We just donated some meat to the Atlanta Mission. They do 2,100 meals a day. Okay. Jeez. That's one place in Atlanta that is feeding 2,700 people a day, 3 meals a day. These are people who are, Giving Kitchen's a good example. Asking for help. I'm not afraid to ask for help. Okay. A lot of people are. They find it humiliating. They don't like letting people know that they're hurting. Right. It's not a good feeling for these people to ask for money. They're like, oh, thank God I got in a car accident. And now the Giving Kitchen will pay one of my car payments. They'd rather not do that. These people going to the Atlanta Mission would much rather not have to get in a line and sit in a room and eat food with a bunch of strangers. They would really like a different path, right? It's humiliating and it's devastating. So if myself and other restaurant owners, can bring a little relief to people or make them feel better or that they're not alone, then that's easy to do.
Yeah.
Right. This is no, like I would love to do the burger benefit. It's not like I'm going to stop putting money into the Giving Kitchen. I'm just figuring out another way to do it. Right. And so, this is just a very important event. Every time you go into a restaurant, the last person who touches your food is a stranger. Wouldn't you want that stranger to want to be in the industry? Wouldn't you want that stranger to want to be there and be happy? So that you can, get the food that you're asking for. These people are not indentured servants. These are people who are working very hard to make you happy. And they're going to make mistakes. It turns out there's only one perfect person on the planet, and the odds are you're not it. Okay, so you make mistakes. The difference is there isn't a website where everybody can just go ream you out because your doctor's appointment, you took 10 minutes longer on on making a patient wait in the waiting room.
Yeah.
Right. That doesn't really exist. But God forbid you didn't get some French fries. You'll
your favorite
buy
website,
review
Yelp.
somebody while you're sitting at the table.
Yeah. There's actually lots of Yelp now. Google, everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's cool, man. I love that you found your thing. I want to hear about what else is happening at NFA now. Tell me about Avalon. Tell me about the new part of the existing Dunwoody shop.
Yeah. So we the new space, everybody has seen it. They keep finally people stop asking, which I think is great.
I'm going to keep asking.
I know you are, but you just do it to bust my chops and because
because I'm excited about it.
Right. Anyway, it's going to be a new kitchen. It's not.
And everybody else keeps asking me, and I want to be able to tell them right there.
Well, good. Because I say, look, I don't know. Just ask Matt.
Just ask Matt.
So it's going to be a new kitchen. The reason we haven't moved into it yet, and that's, by the way, the city of Dunwoody is not the problem. Anybody who just says permits or all this stuff, that's just lazy. That's just lazy talk. The city of Dunwoody has been amazing. DeKalb County gave us our clearance. We could move in today if we wanted to. Here are the problems. U.S. Foods backed into our exhaust things that go outside. I don't even know the name
part of the kitchen.
But they're being replaced. We had to go through insurance. We had to get new ones, and they're being replaced today. There is water coming in on the ground level, not from the roof, on the ground level. The contractor and their subs had some issues. They're fixing them. So, there's just some things that need to get done. Meanwhile, the other kitchen still works. The burger's the same.
Yeah.
When we open the new section, we're just moving the equipment over into the new section. So it's not as if
we're still excited about it, though.
Right, I know, but it's not like magically something is going to transform overnight. We're just going to take the equipment that's in one space and move it over. We have some more equipment. We're going to test out some ways to make things go a little faster. Hopefully we can add a second cashier because we'll have more capacity.
Okay. So us as customers, what are we going to see? We're going to see that line's going to move a little faster, maybe.
Hopefully.
You don't have to stand inside the gas station. You can stand under an awning, I'm guessing.
I think you're going to wind up wishing you were standing inside the gas station, quite frankly.
At least there's something to look at.
The new space is tinier. When we first created this project, I was doing half the business, and it seemed like a great idea. And then, fortunately, the community has been a great support. We get a lot of return customers. They bring friends. Business has grown.
So business has grown that much because I feel like there's been a line since day one. But I guess you guys have gotten better. You've gotten better at your jobs.
There's two lines, and you know this. There's a line of inefficiency and a line of popularity.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, we were a line of inefficiency, and then we were a line of inefficiency and popularity. And now we're pretty efficient.
Those don't go together.
Right. And but now we're pretty, I think we're very efficient. My favorites when I take an order at the register, I did yesterday, and then I swapped out with somebody and I took the order out to the guy who just placed his order. He's like, that was really fast. It was
do everything?
It was like 4 minutes. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm a business owner.
Yeah. I love when that happens though.
Huh? I'm sorry?
I love when that happens, though, when the owner is actually the one handing you your food.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. I like being there. Unfortunately, I don't get to do that with Avalon, going. I spend a lot of time on 400. And I have a great crew at both places, so I don't have to be at either place all the time. But I like being there. Because again, going back to, we're people pleasers.
Mm-hmm.
You might not know that from, you might not guess I'm a people pleaser, but I am.
I know you're a people pleaser.
I want people to
also an extreme perfectionist, so those two go well together, and that's why your burgers are so good.
I want people. Thank you. I want people to enjoy themselves. I don't know of a restaurant that doesn't want somebody to have a good meal.
Yeah,
I just don't. Even the worst of the worst restaurants aren't like, here's some slop, take it. They think they're doing a good job, or they or they don't have the resources to do a better job.
Doing their best. Yeah.
You know, they're doing what they can. And, you know, and I get it. Sometimes that's not good enough for you, but I've never been to a restaurant ever where I thought that the person making the food hated me.
Yeah.
Right. Or the mistake that was made was like, oh, I'm going to not bring fries to this guy, or I'm going to make
Take
him
it out
cold
on
on
you.
purpose. You know, so again, that's why I'm involved in the Giving Kitchen. COVID killed the restaurant industry, because what happened was that restaurant workers who weren't able to work in their restaurants got other jobs, and they decided, oh, you mean you don't get yelled at every job?
Yeah. There's something to this.
Right. Like, oh, you mean I can sell insurance and not get yelled at by everybody?
Right.
And so, you
I
know,
never came back.
right. And they're like, I don't have to come back. But there are some people who love it, or some people, this is what they know how to do. And so I want to make it, and the Giving Kitchen does too, and all the restaurant owners. And by the way, these people coming down, Vinnie and George, these guys, the Giving Kitchen is not Atlanta. It's nationwide. The Giving Kitchen gave money to people in Hawaii when they had those wildfires. You know, they're helping with hurricane, you know, people filing for claims for hurricanes in Asheville. They've now fed or distributed funds to somebody in every state in the country. So this just, while it's based here in Atlanta, you do not have to be from Atlanta, an Atlanta restaurant to ask for funds. And so that's why it's important that these folks are coming from all over the country, because they realize that, like, this is an industry that's here to take care of everybody, not the local chapter of Atlanta, which they might still come down to help me. But this
and all
is
of these folks have real social media followings too. So it's all helping spread the word that way as well.
Yeah. I mean, I had this wild idea when I started the Burger Benefit. I was going to move it around to different cities, and
nobody else wants to.
It was going to grow. No, here's what I realized, man. I'm going to tell you right now. I hope everybody gets to this part of the podcast. You guys don't understand how great our city is in Dunwoody. You really have no idea. Okay. The first time I talked about doing an event in another place, you would have thought like I was asking for the world from that government. You know, well, you're going to need this. City of Dunwoody is like, hold on, you want to bring people to Dunwoody and put us on the map and bring the rest of the world here and show Dunwoody, show everybody what Dunwoody can do? I'm like, yes, like, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm sure it's Discover Dunwoody's dream.
Yeah. People don't realize Dunwoody's more like a unicorn, and you can complain about the signs because you don't like the way the signs look, and you can complain about all these things. Those things are happening in every city. Okay. It doesn't matter if there was a new mayor or a new council. Those things, you'd be complaining about something else. Okay. Yeah. The reality is that what the mayor and the council has done to keep restaurants intact through COVID and through today is unmatched by any other city in the world.
Okay. The restaurant scene is flourishing here for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I do not believe, and Matt, you might know the answer. I do not believe we lost one restaurant during COVID in Dunwoody.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a testament to the way that we all band together as citizens, the way that our government officials realize how important the restaurants are to the community and other businesses. And I can tell you, as I was looking for new locations in other cities, they did not do the same things during COVID that our city did. Yeah. I know this for a fact. They did not put funds up to improve your outdoor seating and outdoor operation. They took that money and did other things. Now they did what they felt was important, but the city of Dunwoody said, no, we need to focus. We need to have people going out to eat and enjoying themselves. And we need to help these restaurants stay in business. That's good for Dunwoody. Right.
Well, I think Dunwoody also sees that, there's no drive-throughs and, Dunwoody won't let these folks come in. These, this and that. But I think Mark Galvin was saying like 41 restaurants open last year. I mean, that's insane. Like a few probably shut down, but 41 opening is.
Well, the problem, the problem with the ones, yes. I mean, we're growing. By the way, Super Chicks does a great job with fried chicken. We don't need like 8 more fried chicken places an eighth of a mile down the road.
Yeah.
Okay. We just don't. Super Chicks does a great job. Village Burger has chicken fingers and wings, right? Marlowe's has, you know, like you can go to a lot of places for these things. We don't need to be the FOMO city where we need a Raising Cane's and a Zaxby's and we don't need it. There aren't that many more people in Dunwoody. Those restaurants that are closing in general are paying higher rents because they're newer restaurants for the most part. They're paying really high rents, and we're not increasing the number of people in Dunwoody to match the number of restaurants that we're opening.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, you're going to see a lot more restaurant closures. It's not Dunwoody's fault. It's a capacity issue.
I'm actually fine with it as long as they're bringing in, as long as better restaurants are running those other restaurants out, you know? And 41 openings a year, that just blew my mind when he was talking about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of restaurants. I mean, you know, it's easy to have, when you think about the places that opened in Dunwoody, you know, you think about Ashford Lane revitalized, okay, a lot more restaurants in there.
High Street
opened, the development behind State Farm opened, the State Farm restaurant. You know, there were just so many more opportunities for restaurants to exist.
The Walmart shopping center is getting new restaurants now.
Yeah, problem is there just aren't more people, and so what happens is now those people are going to be spread out over more restaurants.
Yeah,
and now these people are not going to be hitting their numbers, and then you're going to
also got a lot of people coming here during the day too, which helps.
We
wouldn't have those restaurants if that wasn't if it wasn't for the perimeter area.
Well, to some extent, the reason a lot of those restaurants exist is because somebody built the space to give them the restaurants, and then the people open their restaurants. Some of these people not truly understanding the true economics of the area, right? Yeah. If every building was full in the perimeter, game on, man. Like you wouldn't see those 41 restaurants would be packed all the time. They're not. Yeah. The buildings are not full. They're probably never going to be full again, mostly because companies realize you can do work at home, you know, like the two of us at this moment, right?
Well, they're starting to come back. I think those State Farm buildings are starting to bring more people in and hit those restaurants. I don't know.
Maybe. I mean, I hope so, but the economics of the restaurants and buildings used to be Monday through Thursday night happy hour, Friday lazy lunch, go home early, right? That was the nature of pre-COVID. And now it's no one goes to work on Monday and no one goes to work on Friday. And if you're in the office, it's Tuesday through Thursday. And so so now you have a restaurant that opened in the perimeter, and now you're really operating on 3 days a week for the most part because no one's in those offices. It's tough, higher rents, higher food costs, fuel surcharges now. It really takes exceptional product, exceptional marketing, commitment to the community to make these restaurants successful, which is why Dunwoody Village, I think, does a great job, because you can walk into NFA and see Sean, who's been there since day 3 at NFA. You know, you can go into Los Hermanos and see Miguel, or see Darren at Chapitos, or David Abus roaming around all the restaurants, or Jeff. You know, you can go in and see those people. It's so much more difficult in the perimeter area. It really takes dedication and commitment to the community, and that's who I think will be the survivors.
Yeah, the money that they throw around don't always work. I saw that there's an out parcel next to Lazy Dog that Eli announced that there's going to be, I think it was 60 vines that ended up not working out, but they announced yesterday that there's a new restaurant coming there. So you're going to start seeing that. But those spaces have to cost a fortune.
Yeah, I mean,
you're right. They're not. Those aren't Dunwoody restaurants, really. Those are perimeter mall restaurants.
You know, and it could be a really good restaurant, but it's probably again, to understand the economics of that building. Okay, and I don't know anything about the cost. It's probably a ground lease.
Yeah.
Okay. So the way a ground lease works is they're probably paying $250,000 a year to have the land.
That space, yeah.
Okay. Or whatever they're paying. Now they have to build it. Okay. Now you're thinking, all right, I have to make all that money back, so I better have a 5,000 square foot restaurant. Okay. To have a 5,000 square foot restaurant, you have to be able to put all those people in there. Where are those people going to come from? Well, they're going to come from Lazy Dog, and they're going to come from Seasons 52. They're going to come from Joey D's. They're not. It's not new people, right?
Yeah.
You're just redistributing the existing people, and that's where the challenge comes. I think
that there's a little bit more than that, though. Like, I feel like Avalon is a destination. People drive from here to Avalon.
The traffic at Avalon is down 10% year over year because of Halcyon. And the medley is going to open in Johns Creek, right? Again, it's the number of people or the number of restaurants in these places that are being built are outpacing the amount of people.
Yeah, but High Street, when you walk around High Street, you don't see Dunwoody people as much. I feel like it's people that have driven from out of town to go to High Street, or
right. But that's guess what? Those are when the medley opens, they're going to go to the medley and see the medley.
That's true. You're right.
And then when Jamestown redevelops North Point, they're going to go there. Like those are not the people that are building that. Like High Street can't exist on people from 20 miles away. High Street has to exist. Any restaurant, this because you're in it. Yeah. Any restaurant that exists has to exist within their trade area. Okay. It's great when somebody comes from, we just had these 7 women drive down from Greenville, South Carolina to NFA for their birthday. Okay. They saw us mentioned on CBS Morning News. Gail King talked about us. They drove down for lunch. Okay. That's awesome. I can't tell you how the smile I had on my face, and I talked to them, but that's not how a restaurant survives, right? You can't survive on hoping people drive from South Carolina that's it. They're never coming back.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, maybe they will, but it's not, 2, 3
they're telling their friends in Greenville too.
Right. But it's not 2, 3 times a week. Yeah. Right. And that's how the restaurant survives. It's how places like Village Burger and myself and Marlowe's and Novo Cucina, it's how we survive. We don't survive on people coming from Hawaii. We survive on people coming from Sandy Springs and Roswell and Dunwoody and Doraville and Chamblee. Yeah. That's how we survive, right? And so if you're not increasing the number of people and you're only increasing the square footage of restaurants, something gives, right?
Yeah.
So you're either going to be paying more money for this food because they don't have enough people, so they have to charge more money. It's a giant game of whack-a-mole.
Yeah.
Hopefully I wouldn't say the best survive, but that's not even true. I mean, I've seen plenty of good people go out of business.
We just keep getting better and better restaurants, I feel like.
Yeah, I hope so.
I remember back when they announced, what was it called? Was it Ashford Green? Is that what that food hall was supposed to be over off of Shallowford? Like that was this huge deal.
I was before NFA and
18, 19. That was like a huge deal because everybody was like, oh, we don't have a food scene. And Dunwoody has a food scene now. And thanks to people like you and David and, all these different groups.
Right.
I think that's amazing. But
just got to
say, I could talk to you all day about this. We were running at like 40 minutes already. So we got to wrap it up. But
my trainer is like, where are you?
Yeah. Well, one thing that I want to just bring to everybody's attention is every time that you come on this podcast, you mention all of these other different restaurants and you keep mentioning Dunwoody, and Dunwoody appreciates that you show interest in the area that you're working. I mean, you might have gone to Avalon, but you still know every owner of every restaurant in the Dunwoody area. You're always talking about them on, restaurant review group and that kind of stuff. So appreciate you. We appreciate you supporting.
We appreciate what you do.
Thanks. Man.
That the 99% of the people who hate what you do, don't worry about them. I'm part of the
Facebook group.
I'm part of the 1% that likes you. Anyway.
Well, thanks, Billy.
Thanks a lot for everything you do. I'll see you in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
All right, man. Thanks.
Right, thanks, dude.
Burger Benefit, May 3rd. Dunwoody, Georgia. NFA at Dunwoody. This is the final Burger Benefit. There are only 600 tickets available. And then that's it. So
best burgers in the country are all coming to Dunwoody. And
I don't know if they're the best burgers in the country. Here's what they are. I think they're amazing burgers. Here's what they are.
Burgers. You're picking the best people.
These are people who are leaving their business and they're going to come here to Dunwoody and they're going to bring the spotlight on Dunwoody and they're going to bring burgers to Dunwoody that you can't get anywhere else. And that is special. So even if it's not the best burger, you think it's the best burger in the history of the world, it's a special day and a special event, and you're going to enjoy it. And if you don't enjoy it, there's no joy in your life. I can't really help you.
Well, thanks for bringing that to Dunwoody.
All right. Thanks, Matt, for everything. I'll see you soon.
All right. See ya.